Welcome to Playflow's weekly podcast of game reviewing. This week I, Bioshockraptor, will be reviewing God of War 2 for the PlayStation 2. Let's get started. So this is the sequel to the original PS2 game, God of War, released in 2005. You actually don't really need to play the first game to understand and enjoy God of War 2. This game was released in North America on March 13, in Europe on April 27th and May 3rd, and in Australia, all in 2007. God of War 2 won numerous amounts of awards and the title of PlayStation Game of the Year in 2007. It was developed by SCE Studios Santa Monica and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. It is a single-player action-adventure, also known as hack and slash, video game that follows the adventure of Kratos, the god of war, and his quest to destroy Zeus. It was rated mature 17+ by the ESRB and MA 15+ by the Australian classification. The basic story of this game is Kratos is the new god of war after defeating Ares in the first game, and he is taking city by city, and Athena and the other gods are worried that he is abusing his power over the world. Athena tells Kratos not to do any more bad things, but he ignores her, and as Kratos descends from the heavens to aid his army in battle over the city roads, Athena takes away his powers as a god, but not all of them, and implants them into a giant statue nearby. Kratos destroys it, eventually, and meets up with Zeus. Zeus then tricks Kratos into becoming immortal, and that's where the main story starts. He embarks on a journey to the Island of Fates so he can rewind time to when Zeus took advantage of him and destroy him. It's a pretty good story, but it does get confusing. It's one of those games that you think, what? Halfway through, but then in the end you're like, oh, now I get it. Great story, would have taken a while to think up of, but it's too much like the game Prince of Persia Warrior Within. There actually aren't that many characters in this game, although there are quite a lot of bosses that you'll have to battle, which are mostly all based on ancient Greek mythology. Kratos, the main character, is a strong, competitive, violent man who basically wants all the power in the world. He's a god, obviously, who wants to destroy Zeus and practically take his place. I don't actually like Kratos and the way he acts, but I believe that his actions are actually quite suitable for this game, and I think that the developers of this game would have gone to effort to create a character like this to fit in with the story. While I don't like this character, I think that it was a good idea, but then again they could have made a nicer protagonist. I quite like the gameplay in this game. It's sort of just basic button mashing. It's just the simple attacks that you do, but it's fun because you can chain them together. You have basic combos, then longer combos to dispatch your enemies, and it's always fun to watch what brutal attacks Kratos unleashes. You eventually unlock combos and new weapons, then new combos to that weapon, so there is a lot of attacks to use. But I guess it just seems kind of dull, but if you are new to the action-adventure gameplay, you may like it, even if you only own a few games that use it. Also, the only thing that really bugged me was when you did a big combo, you could never cancel it and dodge out of the way, which makes you quite vulnerable, especially in boss battles. The gameplay is great, just a little adjustment and more variety would have made it perfect. Well, the controls are simple, it's just X jump, circle grapple, square attack, etc. Nothing special in the control scheme here. It's fun pulling off the combos and doing the action commands. Sometimes it might come up with a square and you need to press it. It is quite original, but not that special. The controls are average and they could have added a bit more fun, but there isn't much wrong with it. The graphics in this game are actually astounding, especially since it's for the PlayStation 2. I would have to say that this game has the best graphics in a PS2 game that I've ever played. They're beautiful, nice textures, nice colour, and no blocky parts. Also, the cinematics look basically the same as PS3 gameplay graphics. They're that good. I have nothing to argue here. The music is pretty much the whole ancient Greekness, And it sounds great when you're just walking around listening to it in the background. They could have made the battle music feel a bit more hardcore maybe, as if to feel the intensity. There's no multiplayer in this game whatsoever. It would have been great to have some in here though, maybe a co-op campaign. But anyway, this is a pretty long game. It really depends on what the difficulty setting you have on. Average players will probably finish the story in no more than 25 hours, and the experienced players could get probably 15 to 20 hours of it. Whether you call yourself a pro or an amateur, you'll still get a fair bit out of it, but if the difficulty setting is on easy, the story would probably be finished within a weekend of it. God of War 2 doesn't have any multiplayer options, so the only replay value sits in the story campaign, but it has a good formula to make you want to play it again. After you finish the game, you'll probably be like, wow, that was fun, and won't touch it for a week or so. But then later you might pick it up again and play it on a harder difficulty. When you finish it on easy, you get a costume. Then on mortal, which is medium, you get another costume, etc. The harder the difficulty, the cooler the costume is. You can also go through again and unlock all the small extras, but you'll probably get bored of unlocking costumes and little extras, so you probably wouldn't play it through more than 2 or 3 times, and it would have been more fun if they added in some extra enemies or script for finishing it once so you can play it again and again. So this game has great graphics, script, music, gameplay, and there is no reason to hate it. But even though it's good, it's not perfect. They could have made it better, they could have made extra stuff, but we might as well enjoy it, seeing as though it's one of the best games out there for the PlayStation 2. With the PS3 out and all, it was a smart move for SCE to release it on the PS2, so many PS3 and PS2 owners can play it. Even though the story isn't true, it makes a good fictional story about ancient Greek mythology. This game is definitely worth paying money for. Story 4 out of 5, characters 3, gameplay 5, controls 4, graphics 5, music 4, multiplayer 0, length 4, replay value 3. Overall rating 8. Awesome.